Greetings, history enthusiasts. Welcome to another immersive episode on the HIST-A.I RY channel. Today, we embark on a journey through the annals of the Medici family's history, exploring the tumultuous events that led to their exile, the destinations during their banishment, the diplomatic intricacies behind their return, and their profound impact on Renaissance Florence. In the early 15th century, Florence was a city in the throes of political turmoil, a bustling hub of commerce and culture. It was also a grand stage where influential families jostled for power. Make no mistake, Florence was not just a city, it was a living, breathing theater of political machinations. In this volatile mix, two families stood out, the Albizzis and the Medicis. The Albizzis, an old aristocratic family, had held a firm grip on power, but their reign was being increasingly challenged. The Medicis, fueled by raw ambition and a vaulting drive to ascend the ladder of power, were the emerging players in the city's political game. Their rise was largely attributable to their flourishing banking venture, a novel concept in a society steeped in aristocratic tradition, and this was perceived as a direct threat by the Albizzis. The rivalry between the two powerhouses was not a simple tussle for control. It was a monumental clash of ideologies. On one hand, you had the old guard, the Albizzis, clinging to their traditional power base, backed by the old nobility and factions that dreaded the merchant class. The Medicis, on the other hand, represented the emerging moneyed class, and they had the support of the merchants and those who yearned for a change in the political landscape. To further complicate matters, Florence was undergoing a significant socio-economic transformation. The city was growing wealth and international importance, yet it was also wrestling with economic disparity and social unrest. The public mood was a combustible blend of hope, fear, and uncertainty. The Medicis, with their populist approach and promise of the inclusive government, seemed to offer a glimmer of hope to the common people, exacerbating the resentment of the Albizzis. The political tension between the two families came to a head when, through calculated political maneuvering, the Albizzis managed to banish the Medici family from Florence. The decision to exile the Medicis was a turning point in Florentine history, a moment that epitomized the severe tensions and rivalries that had been simmering in the city. Ironically, the Medici's exile only served to exacerbate the political turmoil, setting the stage for a seismic shift in power that would forever alter the course of the city's history. Leaving Florence behind, the Medici family found themselves venturing into uncharted terrain, brimming with an array of challenges. They sought refuge in diverse European cities, each with its own unique political landscape and cultural milieu. Venice, one of their primary destinations, proved to be a stark contrast to their home city. The labyrinthine canals of this city were a far cry from the familiar cobbled streets of Florence. Venice was not just geographically different, it was a hotbed of political intrigue, with its own unique set of rules and power dynamics. The Medici found themselves having to navigate these complex networks of power, all while maintaining their financial stability and social status. This was no small feat, given the tumultuous nature of politics in the 15th century. However, the Medici were not confined to Venice. They also sought refuge in cities like Paris and Rome, each presenting their own distinct challenges and opportunities. In Paris, they found themselves with the intricate politics of the French court, while in Rome, they had to negotiate with the powerful papacy. Each city provided a new learning experience, a new set of political intricacies to unravel, and a new opportunity to adapt and thrive. Yet, in the face of these challenges, the Medici maintained their commitment to culture and knowledge. Exile did not dilute their patronage of the arts and sciences. On the contrary, they used their time in these various cities to build connections with local artists, thinkers, and innovators. They continued to finance and support these individuals, many of whom would play pivotal roles in the Renaissance. In Paris, they embraced the city's vibrant intellectual life, supporting artists, thinkers, and innovators alike. In Rome, they patronized the works of brilliant architects and painters, contributing to the city's grandeur. Even in Venice, amid the city's political intrigues, found time to foster the arts and sciences, ensuring the city's cultural scene thrived. Their exile was not merely a period of survival, it was a time of immense growth and learning. They used this time to gain insights into different political systems, understand new cultures, and broaden their perspective. It was a period of introspection and strategic planning, a time of waiting for the opportune moment to reclaim their rightful place in Florence. In the face of adversity, the Medici family demonstrated extraordinary resilience. They did not let their circumstances define them. Instead, they seized the opportunity to redefine themselves, to strengthen their resolve, and to lay the groundwork for their triumphant return. Despite their trials, the Medici family displayed a commitment to their values and interests. Their sojourn in various European cities was a testament to their indomitable spirit, their unyielding dedication to Florence, and their enduring impact on the course of history. During the period of the Medici family's exile, they did not simply hide away or accept their diminished influence. Instead, they used diplomacy as a powerful tool for safeguarding their interests and plotting their return. This was not a time of retreat, but of deliberate and carefully calculated strategic maneuvering. Known across the continent for their substantial wealth and influential position, they began to leverage these assets to craft relationships with other powerful families and city-states scattered across the European landscape. Their focus was not limited to merely gaining favor with influential figures by offering financial support and exploiting their revered reputation as patrons of the arts. The Medici family demonstrated their strategic acumen by recognizing the importance of aligning with emerging powers, of placing themselves on the winning side of history. In their quest to regain their standing in Florence, they sought out those who could potentially aid them. One of their most significant strategic alliances was with the then Pope Eugenius IV. This was a calculated move that provided invaluable advantages in their pursuit to regain power. With the Pope's endorsement, they were able to secure the religious backing they needed to re-establish their influence in Florence, a city where the Church held immense sway. This alliance was more than just symbolic. It was a demonstration of their adeptness at turning the tide of politics in their favor. Furthermore, the Medicis significantly extended their sphere of influence by creating alliances with other influential city-states and powerful families. This greatly expanded their network of support, ensuring they remained a formidable force, even during exile. Through these strategic relationships and alliances, the Medici family not only managed to maintain their wealth and status, but also laid the groundwork for their eventual return to Florence. This, far from being a time of defeat, was a testament to the Medici family's resourcefulness and strategic acumen. Their diplomatic successes began to pave the way for a potential return to Florence. Their exile was not an end, but merely a stepping stone leading to greater triumphs. The tale of their return to Florence is riveting, as is the story of their strategic maneuvering during exile. In the year 1434, the Medici savored the sweet air of fortune as it finally favored them, marking the beginning of a significant transformation. After a year of grueling exile, the Medici family was on the brink of a glorious homecoming to their cherished city, Florence. The intricate circumstances that led to this remarkable homecoming were a meticulous blend of public endorsement, volatile political changes, and craftily designed alliances formed during their banishment. The Medici family possessed acute understanding of public sentiment. They were fully aware of the fact that their triumphant return was contingent on the Florentines' goodwill. This realization made them employ an ingenious strategy of leveraging the alliances they had established across the European continent during their exile. These alliances were far from being just a safeguard during their banishment. In fact, they were a strategic investment for their future, a valuable asset that would help them reclaim their place in Florence when the time was right. This clever use of alliances wasn't just an act of survival, but a testament to their political acumen and visionary planning. Popular support, too, played a crucial role. The Medici won the hearts of the Florentines, not only through their political maneuvers, but also through their patronage of the arts and humanities. Their popularity was the result of a carefully orchestrated image of benefactors of the city, ensuring that the return was not only accepted, but also celebrated by the Florentines. Their return to Florence was far from a mere personal triumph. It represented a significant milestone in their family's saga and the history of Florence. This marked the beginning of a new era, where the Medici would rise to unprecedented heights of political power and influence. They would soon transform Florence into a cultural epicenter, fostering an environment that would lead to the birth of the Renaissance. Thus, their return held profound implications for the future of the Medici and the city they loved so deeply. Returning to the familiar yet changed landscape of their home city was just the first step in a new, challenging journey for the Medici family. Their return to the heart of Florence opened a complicated era, a ballet of power and politics, as they embarked on a mission to regain their lost influence and stature within the city. The Medicis, once the city's most influential family, now found themselves in the position of having to rebuild bridges, not just with the city's powerful elites, but also with the common people. What they quickly realized was that the support of these common folk was not just important, but absolutely instrumental in their return. The power dynamics in Florence had changed during their absence. The Medici family had once been at the top of this dynamic, but their exile had significantly shaken the societal structure. No longer was power concentrated in the hands of a few. It had become fragmented, scattered among the various factions within the city. To regain their footing in this new era, the Medicis had to demonstrate exceptional diplomatic skill and political acumen. They had to chart this new social and political terrain with tact and caution, working painstakingly to consolidate and bolster their position. It was a fine line to walk, requiring a meticulous balance of benevolence and assertiveness. They were acutely aware that they could not afford to be perceived as too weak, yet they also could not risk appearing too authoritarian. As they worked to re-establish their political standing, the Medicis recognized the need to restore their once unchallenged financial dominance. They set about this by making a series of strategic investments and forming alliances. This was made possible by leveraging their extensive network of contacts, a network that they had cultivated during their years in exile. They understood the importance of alliances and sought partners who could offer them both financial and political support. In a bid to reaffirm their status as leading patrons of the Renaissance, the Medicis also renewed their patronage of the arts. They were aware that their support for the arts was not only a mark of cultural sophistication, but also a tool of political power. They sponsored artists, architects, and writers, funding the creation of magnificent works of art, grand architecture, and influential literary works. These actions were calculated and executed to remind the citizens of Florence of their cultural legacy and the vital role the Medici family had played in it. In managing these complexities of power and influence, the Medicis demonstrated their resilience and political acumen. They not only survived their exile, but also emerged as a more robust and influential force. They became more deeply entrenched in the fabric of Florentine society than ever before. Their return, therefore, was not just a physical relocation, but a complex and strategic reintegration into the intricate social and political fabric of Renaissance Florence. The Medici family's sphere of influence reached far beyond politics. Their passion for arts and intellectual pursuits was profound. Their exorbitant wealth empowered them to become patrons of some of the most transformative artists and thinkers of their epoch, setting the stage for a cultural revolution. Their patronage was far from a mere display of affluence. It was a strategic gambit to foster a cultural milieu that would magnify their prominence and impact. During the Renaissance, the Medici family turned Florence into an incandescent beacon of art and knowledge. Their patronage was the wind beneath the wings of renowned artists such as Donatello, Fra Angelico, and Botticelli, empowering them to create some of the most emblematic and celebrated works of the period. They also sponsored intellectual giants like Pico della Mirandola and Marsilio Ficino, making significant contributions to intellectual and philosophical discourse. The Medici's patronage was not limited to individual artists and thinkers. They poured their resources into public works and institutions that fostered culture, and learning, profoundly influencing the civic life of Florence. The Platonic Academy, founded under their aegis, became the epicenter of intellectual dialogue and discourse. They commissioned the construction of architectural marvels like the Medici Chapel and the Uffizi Gallery, which continue to stand as a testament to their commitment to promoting the arts. The Medici family's patronage also extended well into the realm of sciences. They provided patronage to scientific pioneers, such as Galileo Galilei, thus positioning themselves as patrons of both arts and sciences. This holistic approach to patronage played a significant role in the flourishing of the Renaissance in Florence, creating a cultural landscape of unrivaled richness and diversity. The Medici family's extensive contributions to the Renaissance period left a lasting and indelible legacy. Their patronage helped to mold the identity of Florence, shaping its cultural, intellectual, and aesthetic profile for centuries to come. Their passion for art, intellect, and public works transformed Florence into the center of the Renaissance, an identity it proudly bears even to this day. And there you have it, the captivating tale of the Medici family's exile, triumphant return, and their enduring impact on Renaissance Florence. If you found this exploration enlightening, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell notification to stay updated on our historical narratives here on the HIST-A.I RY channel. Thank you for joining us on this in-depth journey through the tumultuous yet triumphant moments of Medici history. Until next time, signing off.